whether it be to make a statement, pay homage to the deceased, or to protect a vulnerable species. Sculptures have been sinking their art into the vast depths of the sea for years. From sunken Greek gods to underwater ruins and fully submerged saints, these 11 underwater monuments are a sight worth seeing. 11. Jason Voorhees. The dark waters at Camp Crystal Lake couldn't get any more eerie, as here Jason Voorhees drowned on Friday the 13th at the innocent age of 11. Not so pure is his iconic essence, an epic symbol of manslaughter, and the horror film character of the same name bearing a goalie mask and machete. Made famous through the Friday the 13th film series, horror film enthusiasts can relish in a real-life rendition of the movie Murderer planted under the surface, among the mud and muck at the Louise Pit Mine in Crosby, Minnesota. On his YouTube channel, diver Curtis Lahr takes viewers for an underwater adventure to come face-to-face with every slasher film fan's worst nightmare. The incredible sculpture of Jason that was built and planted in 2013 by a fellow diver named Doug. What better way to tribute a drowned boy in horror flick phenomena than through this perfect replica, to forever lurk from 110 feet deep at the bottom of the lake. To get a further glimpse of the terror, make sure to check out Lahr's channel for yourself. The link is in the description below. 10. The statues of Thonis, Heracleion and Canopus. A site once protected the entrance of ancient Egypt, today bears witness to the remains of cryptic underwater statues beneath the sea. The two cities, Thonis Heracleion and Canopus, dotted this region 1200 years prior and now exist in ruin deep underwater, timelessly preserved in a way to allow the plethora of stone statues and sculptures to hold some of their former glory. From dignified pharaohs in the classic style of ancient Egyptian figureheads to crumbling pillars and staircases, the long-lost cities which were thought to be a legend now sit beneath the sea for modern-day explorers to revel in their history. Once a bustling hub for trade and merchant ships, archaeologists speculate that natural disasters such as flooding and earthquakes eventually led to the sinking of the iconic epicenters. The objects recovered from the site, dating back to the 12th century BC, include colossal statues, inscriptions, remnants of grand temples, and coins and handcrafted ceramics. The civilization, forever frozen in time, can be found around the Abu Qir Bay, approximately 30 feet below the majestic surface of the Mediterranean. 9. Underwater Grotto. BOHOL, Philippines. This project began in 2010 as an innovative way to stop illegal fishing practices, which included the use of dynamite and cyanide to destroy the natural habitat. The result? The world's first underwater pilgrimage. In 2012, as hundreds flocked to the site, where the Virgin Mary and a youthful Jesus, both 14 feet long, were immersed in the Bien Unido Double Barrier Reef Marine Park off Bohol, Philippines. The only place one can find a double barrier reef also doubles as a unique underwater grotto, created by Boholan divers and blessed by priests. The attraction has helped deter unlawful acts by fishermen, as well as remind the world that our oceans are a sanctuary which must be treasured and tended, like a garden. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to what lurks below, and hit the bell to get notified of future video releases. 8. Ocean Atlas. English sculptor Jason Taylor isn't new to underwater architecture. The artist, photographer, diver and naturalist was the mind and chisel behind a project that quickly earned him credit for constructing the world's largest underwater statue. The 60-ton wonder, known as the Ocean Atlas, signifies the greater need for ocean conservation and is placed in New Providence, Nassau, a site in urgent need of reef restoration. The record-breaking sculpture was sunk in the water in 2014, and quickly the word spread to encourage coral colonization and deter tourists who meddle with endangered reefs. The sculpture of a young Bahamian girl sits 16 feet beneath the surface and is forged from sustainable, pH-neutral materials designed to kickstart local coral growth. Her motto? Sustaining the ceiling of the ocean, as the monument serves to render the ancient Greek myth of Atlas, in which a titan was forever condemned to carry the heavens on his back. Such a monumental message required a monumental mascot. That is, the reality of our oceans and reefs collapsing due to the detriments caused by global warming and water pollution are upon us, and it's up to humanity to help carry the weight of one very dire cause. 7. Amphitrite. Located 55 feet beneath the shimmering surface of the Caribbean Sea, lies a symbol of beauty so breathtaking, it was as if she were sculpted by the gods themselves. Every year, thousands of divers and snorkelers flock underwater to revel in a grand sea statue just off the Grand Cayman Islands. As here, perched beneath the waves, stands a 900-foot tall, 600-pound bronze statue of the mermaid Amphitrite. The Caribbean is never short of beauty, and Amphitrite is no exception, as even the great god and protector of the sea took notice of this spectacular sea sprite, and employed every dolphin in existence to help make her his wife. As Greek lore will have it, Amphitrite soon became the loyal companion to Poseidon himself, and in time, her essence came to personify the entire sea, and some of its most majestic creatures. The statue was created and dropped into the water in 2000 by Canadian sculptor and scuba enthusiast Simon Morris, and amazingly, the mermaid has a sister. As a first statue named the Emerald Princess was installed in the Powell River of British Columbia, Canada in 1989. While the two were practically identical, Amphitrite is much more fawned after, probably due to her location in the picturesque waters of the idyllic Caribbean. 6. Guardian of the Reef. Standing 13 feet tall from its base, secured to the sandy seabed, is the Guardian of the Reef in West Bay of Grand Cayman. Another impressive work of art by the Canadian sculptor Simon Morris, who installed the underwater anomaly to promote two things: scuba diving tourism and environmental awareness. Both goals were completed, as over 1,000 divers flocked to the site to see the statue within its first month. The Guardian is a worldwide limited edition consisting of 4 bronze castings that are each signed, numbered, and dated by the artist himself. The casting was placed in front of Lighthouse Point, Grand Cayman in 2015, and the location has been carefully chosen for the quality of the diving in the region, as well as to promote the importance of environmental awareness. According to those who visit the statue, it brings good luck to put a smooch on the great Guardian of the Reef. 5. Christ of the Abyss. Italian Riviera, Portofino. Some underwater relics serve to honour those who have come and gone before us, and the Italian Riviera does just that. Here, an 8-foot bronze rendition of Christ honours the first Italian diver to lose his life scuba diving in 1947. Created by Italian sculptor Guido Galletti, the memorial is cemented to the seafloor 33 feet beneath the surface and signifies one of the most famous dive destinations in Italy. Here, free divers and scuba divers pay homage to Gonzatti, as well as anyone who has ever taken their last breaths in the sea. The statue, named Christ of the Abyss by the sculptor, was installed on the seafloor of the Mediterranean over 50 years ago, and has since stood as a heartfelt tribute to the heavens, as if heaven could be found under the sea. 4. Christ of the Abyss, off Key Largo, Florida. Italian sculptor Guido Galletti created not one Christ of the Abyss, but 3. While the first protects the Italian Riviera, the second is contained in Granada and honours an Italian team who drowned in the tragic sinking of the MV Bianca passenger ship in 1961. The third can be found 27 feet below the surface off Key Largo in the John Pennekamp Coral Reef State Park. According to GoPro tools and GPS coordinates, which are widely published, this locality, where Christ reaches towards the heavens from an underwater podium, is one of the most widely viewed water attractions on the planet. 3. The Living Sculptures, Bali. Home to peculiar creatures such as the mola mola, ocean sunfish, and majestic whale sharks, Indonesia offers a piece of paradise on the shore, as well as beneath the waves. Under the radiant waters of Bali exist a people carved from stone. Or at least, it would appear that way. Rather, a collection of living sculptures and sunken gardens are secured to the seabed and are surrounded by reefs in an effort to interrupt the ecosystems and make way for new growth. Several figures of traditional Balinese have been prepared and stored in a massive collection of underwater artworks made from unique objects, such as bicycles, materials that enable coral growth and help the fragile organisms thrive in light of their natural habitats facing extinction. A number of artists have teamed up to contribute to the collection in order to help, support, and promote awareness of the drastic conditions of the coral reefs due to human action, and in turn, provide these fascinating ecosystems a second chance at life. The underwater sculptures and gardens can be found in Amed, Permiteran, Nusa Dua, Gili Meno, and Lombok, among other tourist destinations around Bali. Here, beneath the sea, divers and snorkelers can explore the artwork and admire the strong message they send about sustainable ocean exploration and ecosystem repair. Travel to the picturesque region of Bali and come face to face with art with a purpose. As anyone can see firsthand, the submerged creations, which not only create new habitats for marine life, but can help restore what has already been destroyed. 2. Cleopatra's Lost Kingdom. The last pharaoh of ancient Egypt resonates in history books as the highly idolized Cleopatra. This legendary princess had a palace, one that happened to get pushed into the sea by tidal waves around 1600 years ago. Today, historians revel in the immersed ancient remains of the royal quarters of Cleopatra, with underwater statues at the ancient site, which include representations of animals quintessential to lions and other iconic Egyptian artworks. Here, underwater archaeologists have discovered a world teeming with tiny personal artifacts, and pottery to giant sphinxes, statues of the goddess Isis, pillars and towers. This underwater haven is located off the shores of Alexandria, Egypt, and the bustling city plans to offer tours to all those curious to catch a glimpse of the submerged treasures of Cleopatra's lost world. 1. Subaquático de Arte or Musa. 2009 saw one of the largest and most ambitious underwater artificial art attractions the world has ever seen. Today, 500 permanent life-sized and monumental sculptures pervade the ocean floor in a submerged museum of contemporary art called the Museo Subaquático de Arte, Musa. The project was founded by Roberto Diaz Abraham, former president of the Cancun Nautical Association, and Jamie Gonzalez Cano, director of the National Marine Park. When the dynamic duo hired an English sculptor to carry out their vision, Jason DeCairns Taylor quickly became the hands behind the vision, setting out to craft, mount and secure each installation to the ocean floor. Made from specialized materials to promote coral life, the total attraction spans an area of over 420 square feet in the waters surrounding Cancun, Isla Mujeres and Punta Nizuc. According to Taylor, the mastermind behind 200 tons of aquatic ambition, it's sheer happiness and looks magnificent when sun rays fire up all the colors of the sponge growing on the mysterious statues. He says, the project's main aim was to establish a relationship between art and environmental science in a way to provide a safe area for reefs to grow and flourish, while boosting biomass on an epic scale. What other incredible efforts have humans made to help preserve the environment? Tell us your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to What Lurks Below.